Welcome to Chef John Cooks. My name's Chef John, and today I'm going to show you how to make my version of a pan-roasted salsa. You're going to love it. Let's dive right in. I want you to take from this the method and not necessarily the recipe exactly verbatim. The method is much more important because the ingredients vary region to region, and also how hot the salsa should be is very subjective and should be made to your taste. I will put a basic ingredient list in the description that produces a salsa that I consider to be around a medium heat. To make this salsa, you need to start with a large, tall-sided saute pan, a tall stock pot, or perhaps two smaller pans if you do not have a pan big enough to fit all the ingredients in. Here, I'm using a 12-inch saute pan with tall sides. No matter what cookware you have to work with, you need to get the pan smoking hot and add just enough oil to cover the bottom. Then add your chilies. The more variety, the better. At a minimum, poblano and jalapenos, with some type of smoky dried chili, such as a morita, which is my favorite. However, guajillo, pisillo, anchos, or any other dried chili you can think of work just fine as well. The more varieties, the better. If you can get all of the different types of chilies in there, put them all in there. The more, the better. And you want to char everything you put in the pan to the best of your ability. The more color you can get on all the vegetables during the cooking process, the deeper and richer flavor your salsa will be. Here I'm cooking everything in one pan without removing any of the ingredients. However, you could remove each vegetable as they caramelize and then add them back together at the end to season and deglaze. This would allow the pan to keep the heat the best. If you have budget cookware that does not hold heat well, this may be your best option. Once your peppers are caramelized, you're going to go ahead and add the onion and allow that to caramelize as best as possible. Once you're starting to get some caramelization on the onions, that's when I go ahead and add the garlic and allow that to start to caramelize as well. Remember, you want to get color to everything. And at this point, we can go ahead and add our dried chilies as well and start and allow them to start to soften up while the vegetables are still cooking. Once everything is caramelized well, it's time to go ahead and add the seasonings and allow those to cook in. When I add the seasonings, I like to hold back some of the salt as I like to adjust the seasoning at the very end once everything is pureed together. Once the spices have toasted, I go ahead and add the tomatoes and allow them to cook in. You can see when I start to stir the tomatoes in how toasted some of the peppers have gotten. I would like to get them very dark and get a lot of flavor to them. Like I said before, the more color, the better. So if the pan's hot enough, I like to try to get some color on the tomato skin. But sometimes the pan just starts rendering out and you just start getting liquid. And once the liquid starts coming out of the tomatoes, that's when I go ahead and take it to the next step. Once the liquid comes out of the tomatoes, it's nearly impossible to ever get color to anything after that. The tomatoes are just going to continue to leach water, and then the rest of the vegetables will start leaching water as well when the pan starts cooling down. And basically, it'll just turn to mush before you ever get any color or anything. At this point, the tomatoes have been cooking for a good 5-6 minutes, and you can see that the liquid's starting to come out of the tomatoes. It's at this point where I'll go ahead and add the red wine. Allow the wine to reduce by half, and then add the cilantro. When I add the fresh cilantro, I know the salsa is done, so I can cut the heat and get ready to puree the salsa. The next step, we transfer into a stainless steel bowl, and then we're going to go ahead and puree this up. And then once it's pureed, we'll add the lime juice and seasoning and taste it from there and see if it needs more cilantro, more salt, more lime juice, and from there, the salsas are ready. As you can see here, I go ahead and add just a little bit more salt, a little bit more lime juice, and a little bit more cilantro after I taste it. And I puree it up again, and taste it again, and do that until you get it the way you like it. I suggest start slowly with the seasoning, and then you can always add more. You can never take it away. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Thank you for watching.